students. Today we are going to the second chapter, matrices in mathematics part 1. In 11th standard we have learned some basic topics about the matrix. Now let us revise the definition of matrix. An arrangement of mn numbers in m rows and n columns written within a bracket is called as matrix of order m by n. That is, matrix is an arrangement of numbers of elements in rows and columns. For example, A is a matrix with elements 1, 2, 3, 4. Here, this matrix formed by 2 rows and 2 columns. The rows form in horizontal manner and columns form in vertical manners. There are 2 rows in this matrix. Row 1, row 2, column 1 and column 2. Generally, rows and columns are denoted by capital letters R and C. In this matrix, first row is denoted by R1 and second row is denoted by R2. First column is denoted by C1 and second column is denoted by C2. Therefore, this matrix formed by 2 rows and 2 columns. Therefore, order of this matrix is 2 by 2. That is the number of rows into number of columns. Also, we have learned several types of matrices, in which row matrix, column matrix, scalar matrix, square matrix, diagonal matrix, singular matrix, non-singular matrix, transpose of matrix. Also, we have learned the algebra of matrices, such as addition, subtraction and multiplication of matrices. Students, do you know why the study of matrices is important? Because the matrices are useful in many branches of science. Many problems in statistics are expressed in terms of matrices. Therefore, it is necessary to learn the uses of matrices with the help of elementary transformations and inverse of matrix. That is, the elementary transformations and inverse of matrix are important concepts for the applications of matrices. So let us see the first important concept, elementary transformations. This is very important concept for the applications of matrices. What is the elementary transformations? Elementary transformations are the operations which perform on rows and columns of the matrices. There are 3 types of elementary transformations, and these 3 elementary transformations can be applied on rows as well as on columns. When we apply on rows, it is called as row transformation, and when we apply on columns of the matrices, then it is called as column transformations. Let us see the first elementary transformation, interchange of any 2 rows or columns. If we have to interchange 2 rows or 2 columns in given matrix, suppose we have to interchange ith row and jth row of a given matrix, it is symbolically denoted by ith row, interchange of ith row and jth row. This symbol is used for interchange and read as interchange of Ri and Rj. For example, if A is a matrix of elements 1, 2, 3, 4 and we have to interchange the first row and second row. Interchange means exchange of elements. So we have to interchange the first row and second row. It is symbolically denoted by interchange of R1 and R2. It gives a new matrix by interchanging first row and second row. We get a new matrix with the elements 3, 4 and 1, 2.
Sure.
Similarly, we can apply this transformation on columns. Suppose we have two changes, ith column and jth column. Then it is symbolically denoted by interchange of ith column and jth column. For example, A is a matrix with the elements. Then by interchanging first column and second column, it gives a new matrix. Interchanging of first and second column, then we get new matrix 2, 4 and 1, 3. Interchanging of first column and second column. Students, note that the new matrix is equivalent to the original matrix. Hence, we can be written as A equivalent to the new matrix. A is the original matrix equivalent to the new matrix. Now, let us see the second elementary transformation, multiplication of elements of any row or column by a non-zero scale. If we have to multiply ith row by scalar k, then we multiply every element of ith row by constant k. It is symbolically denoted by k into Ri, or changes in ith row such that k into ith row. For example, A is a matrix and 4 is a scalar. Then by this transformation, we have two changes in second row multiplied by scalar 4. It is symbolically denoted by changes in R2 such that the elements in 4 into R2. It gives a new matrix. In this matrix, first row as it is and changes in second row by multiplying 4 into 3, we get 12. 4 into 4 is equal to 16. So the new matrix is equivalent to the original matrix. Similarly, we can apply this transformation on column, and it is symbolically denoted by k into Ci, that is multiplying ith column by scalar k. For example, A is a matrix and minus 3 is a scalar, and here we have two changes in second column. By multiplying minus 3, it gives a new matrix. First row in new matrix, first row as it is and changes in second row by multiplying minus 3, we get first element in second column minus 3 into 2 minus 6 and minus 3 into 4 minus 12. So new matrix is equivalent to the original matrix. Students, here note that if changes are done in Rj, then ith row remains the same. Now the third transformation is adding the scalar multiples of all elements of any row or column to the corresponding elements of any other row or column. That means if k is a non-zero scalar and k multiples of the elements of ith row are to be added to the elements of jth row. It is symbolically denoted by changes in Rj such that Rj plus k into Ri. For example, A is a matrix and 2 is a scalar. Then we have two changes in first row such that R1 plus 2 R2. It gives a new matrix with changes in R1 such that the elements in R1 plus the scalar multiple of corresponding elements in R2. So 1 plus 2 into 3, and similarly for second element in R1, 2 plus scalar multiple of corresponding elements in R2. Then by calculating this, we get the elements in first row 7 and 10 and second row as it is. Students, here note that elementary transformations of any two rows or column are being done to the corresponding elements. These operations can be applied on columns. In this way, Today we have learned the elementary transformations of matrices. Thank you.